channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to two methods of cutting a bishop sleeve. So I've already traced out my long sleeve pattern here. I'm going to make a separate video on how to trace this out. So I'm going to be showing you guys two methods here. One method is if you want your flare to start from the very end, and then the second method is if you want it to be a little bit fitted and then flare out at the end like a balloon. I'm going to show you guys two methods of doing that. So we'll start with the easy one, which is if you want the flare to go up to the very end. So all you have to do is, now that you have your sleeve, you're just going to go ahead and just mark out your lines that you're going to be using. So I already have the center line here. So guys, with this one here, you will have more flare and it will have more balloon and more flare at the end. So all you have to do is I measured out what I have here. I have like 6 inches on this side of the end of my sleeve, so I marked at 2 inches here. And then on this side I did the same thing. I have 6 inches, so I just split it 2 inches here and mark 2 inches here. So now on this line that I've made here, I'm just going to draw it all the way straight up to the end, but I'm going to be leaving a little bit of room at the end. I'm not going to slash it all the way to the end here. So guys, I've taken all my lines up, this one up here, this one up here, this one up here. So there are 2 lines on each side, and then there are 2 lines on this side too. But then remember, the center one here is also a line. So I'm going to start to split this into following this line, but I'm going to avoid this end like about half an inch before the end. So guys, you can always divide yours the way you want it to be. You see how I divided mine into 2 inches and then another 2 inches. You can use 1.5, and then it depends on you what you want to use. After splitting it now, all you have to do is just to spread it out this way. You are going to spread it out. Maybe you can go directly now and spread it out on your fabric this way, and then just open it up more, open it up more, open it up this way. The only thing that matters now is that this end here, you didn't slash it all the way to this end. And then after that, you're going to go ahead. I'm going to just use a tracing paper to show you guys. So the wider you spread it out, the more fabric you will need. So the wider you go ahead to spread this now, the wider you spread it out, the more fabric it will require. So what I'm going to do now is I might just give mine about 1.5 inch in between all of them. So guys, now that I've done mine, instead of connecting the line in a straight line like this, you can't do this like this. If you do it, the end will not look nice. It will just fall flat. But you need that curve that will give it that balloon effect at the end. So you're going to start from the end like this, the end of this first one, and then you're just going to start to give it like a curve going down this way. So just like that, you're going to try to give it like a curve all the way down, and then you're going to bring this one from this end here and join to it like this. So try to give it like a curve. Don't do this like this. If you want, you can do it, but it's just that it gives it this straight end and it doesn't look really nice. So if you want it to look better, just try to give yours this curve at this end like this, from the one end of this one to the other end of this one. So that's basically how you're going to do it if you want to trace it for this. And then you just go ahead from here now. So you're going to go from here now and just cut out your sleeve. So you're going to cut. So now this is what my sleeve will look like, all the way from the side here, come down to this point, and then the whole end of my sleeve will still fit in because it's still the same shape, right? This part that has the shape of my armhole will still be the same once you spread it out. So once you slash it on the paper, you can go ahead and just tape it down on your fabric and start cutting it out. You don't have to go ahead and trace it again the second time just to cut it out. Once you trace out and you have it on your paper like this, you can go ahead and just spread it out on the fabric, and then just use your chalk to mark out the curve you want and cut it out. So that's basically it for this first method here. So now I'm going to show you guys the second method. So guys, for the second one, you want it a little bit fitted before it flares out. So it depends on you where you want it to stop being fitted. Maybe down to your biceps, and then you can come down like 3 inches or 2 inches down, and then you're going to mark a straight line like that. And then you're going to go ahead and cut it open, but don't cut it to the very end. Just cut it a little bit down to this end here. Don't cut it all the way to that end. and then now you're going to open it up again and do the same thing you did for the last one. So now for this one, you're just slashing the lower part of the sleeve because you want this upper part to be fitted. You can come down 2 inches, 4 inches, or 3 inches. It depends how fitted you want it before it starts to flay out. So on this side, so I'm going to find halfway through this one here and then mark the center. And then I'm going to find halfway through here and also mark the center. So now I'm going to go ahead. Remember, you're supposed to come down here. So guys, meaning that this top part here is going to be fitted, but this part that we are slashing now is the part that is going to be flayed out, right? So all you have to do now is, you see this part, I divided, if you fold it, I divided this into 2, divided it into 2. So now all you have to do is just to cut it open to the end for the center one, and then the other 2, you're just going to cut it barely to the end. So guys, now that I'm done cutting it, so you see I split this side into 2, split this side into 2, but opened up the one in the center. So all I have to do now is to take it and place it. You can go ahead at this point, like I said before, and place it on your fabric. I've spread it out, and as you can see, I've taped it down just like you did before. You're going to also mark it out this way, right? Mark it out this way and give it a curve at the end like this. Don't connect it this way, like this straight. It won't give it that bouncy flay at the end. So you want to go ahead and do it this way so that it will have some curve at the end like this. So that's basically how you're going to mark this one, and then you're going to go ahead, follow the side of your line this way, and then cut out the end of your sleeve. So that's basically it for this. And then you also follow this curved line this way. So guys, as you can see, I've cut out mine how it's supposed to be right now. So as you can see, it's almost like it narrows here and then it flays out like this here. So that's the point of this one here, unlike the other one that just flays like an A all the way to the end. And then to cut the curve, all you have to do is to, so it depends on what curve you're cutting, if it's going to be a loose one, if it's going to be with a stretchy fabric, or if it's going to be with non-stretchy fabric. So the one with buttons. So if it's the one with a stretchy fabric, you might just cut about 5 inches so that when you fold it, you have about 2.5 inch, and then you're going to use half an inch from it to serve as your seam allowance to join it, because you know you're going to be joining it. So this is the end here, so you're going to be pulling the stretchy one and then gathering this one like this, right? And then the cuff is still going to remain the same size, and then you just keep pulling this one. Meanwhile, you're stretching this one. And also remember, when cutting with a stretchy fabric, you're going to subtract like 1 inch from it, because, right? So let's say my cuff is 7 here, right? Or let's say my cuff is 8 inches. I'm going to subtract 1 inch from it before I start sewing, because remember, this is going to be a stretchy fabric. So that's how you're going to do it if you're working with a stretchy fabric. But you don't have to use the 5 inches like I said, because you see I used 5 inches when it's open, because I know that I'm going to be using the cuff on a fold, right? So that when I fold it into 2 this way, so when you go to cut your fabric, you're going to cut it open like this and then fold it this way, so that this end here is going to be just the one facing your hand like this, and then this one here is going to be meeting the fabric with the half an inch at the end. So it's going to join to where your cuff is coming down to your hand, right? So that's how you're going to do it. And then when you're done, you sew down the end. But if it's going to be needing a button, then you're going to use exactly your cuff measurement, and then you're going to add the seam for your button allowance at the end. Maybe use like half an inch on this end and then half an inch on the other end, and then don't forget to also add your seam allowance on each of the ends. So that's how you're going to do it. But basically the two of them, you use almost the same method, except the stretchy one, you're going to subtract 1 inch from your exact cuff measurement, because you need to because it's a stretchy fabric, right? But with the cuff one side is going to be overlapping the other side for the button. When the one that is not stretchy, one side is going to be overlapping the other one. So you need to add that half an inch for the button part and then half an inch for the buttonhole part, and you're going to use exactly your cuff measurement for it. And then you're going to add half an inch here, half an inch here, and then 1 of the half an inch is going to just overlap each other, and then you're also going to add your seam allowance to it. So that's basically how you cut for the two of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm still going to be using this in my subsequent videos, and then you will see me using it on a fabric. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.